Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I got something kind of exciting I'm going to talk about in the group. Two things. One, Charles Hoskinson's been going around. He's been talking about the midnight airdrop and how XRP holders will receive part of the airdrop. Here it says holders will receive 1.2 billion night tokens in the Cardano midnight airdrop. Well, in the group, I'm going to show you how many night tokens that we should receive. All right, and then the other part is this. Remember this clip? Sal Gilberti, the CEO of Ethereum.
Robbie Mitchnick model.
Mitchnick model. Mm-hmm. That says $4,300 XRP. So that's pretty happy.
Oh, Sal.
That's pretty. But any good businessman cuts it in half again, and then maybe thinks about it.
So he said the Mitchnick model says 4,300. I think he was referring to, if XRP maxed out the use and all of that, adoption, whatnot. But here's the question: what is I believe all of us know and think that XRP is undervalued right now. But based on the Mitchnick Ethe model, what should XRP be valued at right now? Not down the road, not the potential, but right now. And I think the number will probably shock you. I think the number, especially when you include yield on XRP, the number is a big time shocker when you start running the numbers. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to add, and we'll be conservative. Let's say XRP has a 3% yield. We'll run the numbers on what a yield of 3% on XRP with the valuation I give you, what that would look like. It would be pretty crazy. You would be traveling the world if you had a pretty decent amount of XRP. So you can go to, if you want to join the group, you can go to daixrp.com to join through the Patreon. You can also click the subscribe button on X if you'd rather join there, and you can click the join button on YouTube if you'd rather join through there. Now, wanted to show you this. Listen to this. This is one of the guys from Anchorage, which does custody.
Bankruptcy remoteness is a really wonderful feature to have when you hold your assets, that if they're held somewhere else, they're still yours and they're not part of the bankruptcy estate. The last 5 years in crypto have had a lot of people come to a real personal understanding of the bankruptcy remoteness questions once you start to look at some of the crypto counterparties and some of them that have not had the nicest of ends to their businesses. So I think bankruptcy remoteness is one that we personally are pushing a lot for in the market structure bills and clarity, saying, hey, if assets are held in a fintech, if assets are held in an exchange, if assets are held anywhere else, great, actually wonderful. It's great to have all that flexibility inside a single entity. But the legal structure under which they're held should be bankruptcy remote, and that would suggest that using a bank as the back end for a lot of that would make a lot more sense than some of the alternatives. And so that's one of the ones in clarity that we're hoping gets resolved nicely so that everybody enjoys bankruptcy remoteness of the way their assets are held.
Okay, this is a big part of the reason that I've been with iTrustCapital through my IRA and now through the premium custody account. I've got institutional custody through both, and I want you to see this. What is iTrustCapital's role in securing my account? All iTrustCapital client assets are held for the benefit of our clients, one-to-one off balance sheet. And then as you go down here, it says client assets are never mixed. Well, first of all, it says this: iTrustCapital and our qualified custodian, Fortis Bank, maintain business continuity plan to address business wind down and account transitions if needed. In the event that a wind down is required, clients would retain ownership and control of their accounts and assets and would be required to transfer their funds to another qualified custodian. In other words, if iTrustCapital was going to go bankrupt, you would be in control of your assets. You would get to transfer them to another custodian. Client assets are never mixed with operating funds and therefore are not available to satisfy the obligations of iTrustCapital or Fortis Bank. These guys are top notch, have been for a long time. If you want to open an account, if you want to get an IRA account, or you want to roll over your 401k, or you want to open a premium custody account, which is the taxable account, which is, I have both. Now you can send your, and the beauty of the premium custody account is you can send your XRP or cash in, but you can only send cash out. And this is a barrier that has been created because every time you read about hackers hacking one of these platforms, what do they take out? Your crypto. There's a reason you don't hear about them taking cash out. They're trying to get the crypto out. It's a quick way for them to go unnoticed. They cannot do that at iTrustCapital, period. So go to iTrustCapital.com/XRP Army if you'd like to open an account. This iTrustCapital is a long time sponsor with me. Here we go. Looks like XRP's on up to 219. The market is has jumped right on back up. You gotta love that. Look, this is more of an indication. That Circle IPO, I'm telling you, it was the Netscape moment. When the price went nuts. Now you're seeing people raising money. This reminds me of back, I want to say in 2021ish, when you had all the DeFi stuff take off before Gary Gensler came in and just shut it all down. Now back then you were seeing people raise funds. You could feel the excitement. You're starting to feel that again now. The market is too. Polymarket is nearing a deal to raise more than $200 million in funding round. You're going to see more. You're about to see IPOs, acquisitions, mergers, funding, more funding rounds. It's going nuts. Here is the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell.
What I do see is a very significant change in the tone, and it really does reflect evolving thinking and the evolving status of the crypto industry. And I would expect over time we'll see more activity.
How is the Fed evaluating and overseeing banks or other regulated entities that are in the digital assets or crypto space?
So our view is that banks get to decide who their customers are. That's not our decision. And so banks are free to provide banking services to the crypto industry, to crypto companies. And banks are also free to conduct crypto activities as long as they do so in a way that is protective of safety and soundness.
You gotta love that. Let me see. This one right here is just an overlap. I'll skip that. Check this out. This is from the CME Group. Since the launch on May 19th, XRP and micro XRP futures have shown demand across institutional and retail participants, highlighting interest in regulated tools to access one of the most watched crypto assets. And here's a summary, 1 month of XRP futures key takeaways. Futures are regulated, cash settled contract, Introduction of XRP futures has rapidly demonstrated significant market interest and widespread participation. It is on its debut, trading volume reached 19.3 million across 15 firms and 4 retail trading platforms. The diverse engagement from ETF issuers to individual retail traders highlights the robust demand for XRP futures. Since its launch, XRP futures have recorded a total trading volume 542 million. Notably, 45% of this volume originated from outside of North America. So what happens when you get regulations and everything else? Underscoring its substantial global appeal. So open interest in the contract continues to grow as well, currently standing at 70.5 million in active positions, indicating sustained market engagement. What do you think is going to happen when we get regulations? I mean, folks, it is on like Donkey Kong. You can feel it. Then we've got ARK Invest. There was a little bit of a pullback in Circle's share prices, and it's probably because people like ARK Invest are selling some of their shares. I know there's a reason, but some of these people don't have lockup periods. I have Circle shares through Link2, and there's a 180-day lockup period. The big boys always find a way to get themselves exemptions. I'll never forget when Coinbase went public and all the insiders sold at some massive valuation. Unfortunately, it's still a rigged game in favor of the big boys, folks. And then we got this. Chainlink and MasterCard partner to let over 3 billion cardholders buy crypto directly on chain. And smoke comes out of nowhere with a good reminder. MasterCard partners Ripple, Consensus, Fluency, Fireblocks. Ripple is everywhere you look, folks, if you hadn't figured it out. Now, this is great. This guy did an interview with Chris Larson. He put out, I think it releases, today's Tuesday, I think it releases Thursday. This is a great clip. Watch this.
What is Ripple? If you had to explain it to my mom. For Ripple, we decided we wanted to be an enterprise-focused company. That's a really important distinction. Essentially, my last two companies were all consumer companies. And I kind of learned this, like, a lot of people start off, especially young folks, starting consumer companies, because that's kind of what they know. What do I see every day? I see this penguin here on the desk. I see this water bottle. You're surrounded by consumer products, by definition. But what you don't realize is almost the consumer thing is almost like the surface of the ocean. And then you have this enterprise thing you sort of discover, and it's like everything below, though. It's just massive. And not enough people focus on it, especially I think young people. That was a big lesson for me. This is like third company in and kind of discovered enterprise, and it was like, I like that. And I would use the example of what happened with Elon. We started off with a new technology, had to show all the things going on with finance transparently, your credit score, for example, rates. All the early stuff was coding and the website, and the technology team was the guts of the company. And then as you sort of go forward, you become more a marketer of consumers. And then you got to have this army of customer support folks for all these consumers. And then you turn around one day with Elon, it was like, 5% of our company is technology and everybody else is dealing with consumers, which, by the way, is exactly what traditional banks are doing. So you start replicating all the stuff that already is out there, and you're doing less and less about what's new. What I like about enterprise is like, it's actually the polar opposite. You're serving these banks, financial institutions, anybody trying to move money, payments, that they've already built all that other stuff. And now they're interested in this new kryptonite thing that they want to put into their engine. So we can focus on that kryptonite thing and give that to them without replicating all the stuff that they already have. I like that. I kind of see it as like you can actually have more impact, reach more people with the new thing with that model. And I think you also get more defensible walls up, because it takes a long time building trust to get in those organizations, because they don't want to risk their own brand versus just going right off the bat and building your new brand. Anyway.
I'm looking forward to that interview. Chris Larson doesn't say much often. Look at this from eGrag Crypto. The breakout is coming based on math, historical patterns, breakouts, triangle formations. Then he goes on. This he's talking about the different day patterns. This suggests that the breakout could occur anytime between early July and mid-September 2025. Stay alert. I love it. Now, okay, we're going to go into DAIXRP.com, the Patreon. If you'd rather join through YouTube, click join below. If you'd rather subscribe through X, hit the subscribe button and you can join the same group. We do the extended videos without commercials. And today, in today's extended video, we're going to talk about that midnight airdrop. How many XRP are you going to get? And that Susan Athey, that Athey Mitchnick model, what is XRP is obviously undervalued for some reasons that are about to be removed, probably. When they're removed, what is that XRP, that undervalued price? What should the price be right now based on that model? I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Here we go.